I was sitting on my porch the other day, sipping my morning tea, and I got to thinking, how is it that some folks our age seem to breeze through their days with such vitality, while others feel like they're dragging through the years? It's not just luck or good genes, though those help. There's a way to age gracefully, to embrace these years with joy and energy, and it starts with a few simple choices. That's what we're going to talk about today. How to make the most of these golden years, to feel good in your body, sharp in your mind, and light in your spirit. Because let's face it, getting older isn't about slowing down. It's about living well, on your own terms. Now, I won't tell you to run a marathon or memorize a dictionary to keep your brain young. No, the best changes are the small, steady ones, the kind that fit right into your day without turning everything upside down. So, let's begin with the first habit that can make all the difference. Moving your body in a way that feels good. You don't need to lift weights or jog for miles, unless you want to, of course, but a gentle walk around the neighborhood, a few stretches in the morning, even dancing to your favorite old tunes in the living room. That's the kind of movement that keeps your joints happy and your energy up. My friend Martha swears by her daily 10-minute chair yoga routine, and at 78, she's still gardening and chasing after her grandkids without a hitch. The key? Just do what feels right for you and do it regularly. Now, the second habit is just as important, and it's something we often overlook: staying connected. Not just to people, though that's a big part of it, but to a sense of purpose. You ever notice how the folks who stay engaged, whether it's through volunteering, a hobby, or even just regular chats with friends, seem to have a sparkle in their eye? That's no coincidence. When I retired, I'll admit, I felt a little lost for a while. But then I started helping out at the local library, reading to kids once a week. Let me tell you, those little ones keep me laughing. And suddenly, my weeks had a rhythm again. It doesn't have to be anything grand. Maybe it's joining a book club, tending to a community garden, or even writing letters to old friends. The point is, having something to look forward to, something that makes you feel needed and alive. That's what keeps the years feeling rich. And here's the thing. These habits don't ask much of you. A short walk, a phone call to a friend, finding one small thing that brings you joy, it all adds up. Before you know it, you're not just getting older, you're thriving. Now, let's talk about another piece of the puzzle: nourishing your body with kindness. Because what we eat, well, it's more than just fuel. It's the foundation of how we feel every single day. When it comes to eating well, it's easy to get overwhelmed by all the advice out there. Cut out this, eat more of that, drink some strange green juice every morning. But here's what I've learned after decades around the sun. Food should be simple, satisfying, and above all, enjoyable. You don't need a complicated diet to feel good. In fact, some of the best foods for us are the ones we've known and loved for years, just prepared in a way that gives our bodies what they need now. Take breakfast, for example. When I was younger, I could get away with a slice of toast and coffee and be just fine. These days, if I don't start my morning with a little protein, maybe some eggs, a bit of yogurt, or even a handful of nuts, I can feel my energy lagging by mid-morning. And fiber, oh, that's a game changer. A bowl of oatmeal with some berries, or whole grain bread with avocado. Nothing fancy, but it keeps everything moving smoothly if you catch my drift. Now, I'm not saying you should never have a treat. Goodness knows, I'd never give up my Saturday slice of pie. But balance is the secret. If most of what you eat is nourishing, vegetables that taste good, because nobody wants to choke down boiled spinach, lean proteins, whole grains, then there's plenty of room for the foods that just plain make you happy. My rule: eat what loves you back most of the time and savor the rest without guilt. And while we're on the subject of taking care of our bodies, let's talk about something we don't always want to admit we need more of: rest. Not just sleep, though that's crucial, but real, honest-to-goodness downtime. I used to wear my busyness like a badge of honor, always on the go, ticking things off my list. But these days, I've come to see that slowing down isn't laziness, it's wisdom. A short nap in the afternoon, a quiet hour with a book instead of rushing through chores, even just sitting on the porch and watching the birds. These moments of rest aren't wasted time. They're what keep us from burning out. My neighbor Frank used to say, "You don't stop moving because you get old. You get old because you stop moving." But I'd add to that, you also get worn out if you never pause. So give yourself permission to take a breath. Your body will thank you for it. Now, there's one more thing that makes a world of difference as we age, and it's not something you can hold in your hands or put on your plate. It's your outlook. How you think about these years, about yourself, about what's still possible. I've met folks in their 90s who crack jokes, try new things, and wake up curious. And I've met people in their 60s who've decided their best days are behind them. Guess who's having more fun? It's not about denying the challenges. Aches and pains come with the territory, and some losses are hard to bear. But focusing on what you can do rather than what you can't changes everything. My friend Edna took up watercolor painting at 75, and now, at 82, she sells her cards at the local shop. She's not Picasso, and she doesn't care. She just loves the act of creating. That's the spirit that keeps you young at heart. So, what's something you've always wanted to try? A recipe, a craft, maybe even a language? It's not too late. In fact, now might be the perfect time. No deadlines, no pressure, just the pure joy of learning. And with that, we're ready to talk about one last piece of the puzzle. Something so simple, yet so powerful, it can transform your days. But we'll get to that next time. For now, why not take one small step today? Maybe swap one snack for something that gives you energy, or take 5 minutes to sit and really savor your coffee. Little things add up. That's how the best years are made. You know, there's something I've noticed about people who age with real grace. They don't just take care of their bodies or stay busy. They also tend to have a deep sense of gratitude. Now, I don't mean they walk around saying thank you to their toaster every morning, though if yours has lasted as long as mine, maybe it deserves some appreciation. No, I mean they've learned to notice the small good things in life, even on the harder days. That's our last habit, and in some ways, it's the most important one, making gratitude a daily practice. It doesn't have to be complicated. Maybe it's pausing before bed to think of one thing that went well. A phone call with a grandchild, a warm bowl of soup, the way the sunlight came through the window just right. Or keeping a little notebook by your chair to jot down moments that made you smile. Over time, this habit shifts something inside you. The creaky knees and the forgetful moments don't disappear, but they stop being the whole story. I'll tell you a secret. This was the hardest habit for me to adopt. After my husband passed, some days it felt like there wasn't much to be thankful for. But my daughter bought me a pretty journal and said, "Just write one line, Mom. Even if it's just, 'The tea was hot today.'" And you know what? It helped. Some days, that one line turned into 3. Other days, it was enough just to notice that one good thing. Now, let's tie all this together. Aging gracefully isn't about defying time. It's about working with it, moving in ways that feel good, eating with kindness, resting without guilt, staying curious, and sprinkling it all with gratitude. None of it requires a gym membership or a fancy supplement. It's just about showing up for your life, one small choice at a time. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one thing from our talk that resonates with you. Maybe it's adding an extra vegetable to your plate, calling an old friend this week, or setting aside 10 minutes to do something that makes you feel alive. Don't try to change everything at once. That's a recipe for frustration. Just start where you are. And remember, you're not alone in this. We're all figuring it out as we go. If you've got a tip that's helped you, whether it's a stretching routine, a great recipe, or how you keep your spirits up, share it in the comments below. Your wisdom might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this conversation was helpful, do me a favor. Give this video a thumbs up so others can find it too. And if you're not subscribed yet, well, we'd love to have you join us. There's always more to share about living these years with joy and purpose. As I sign off today, I'll leave you with this thought. Getting older is a privilege not everyone gets. However many candles are on your cake this year, each one represents stories, strength, and a life that's uniquely yours. Here's to embracing the next chapter, not in spite of your age, but because of all it's taught you. Now go enjoy that beautiful day out there. You've earned it. Take care.